I tried changing my mindset for years. Here's what actually opened the door. I did affirmations every single day for 2 years. Visualization, just think positive. None of it worked. It wasn't because I gave up too soon. It wasn't because I didn't believe hard enough. It's because I was pushing on a locked door when the real key was something nobody talks about. I'm going to show you what actually opened that door. It's not what you think. And it's the opposite of what most self-help videos are telling you right now. Here's the thing, almost nobody gets right about changing your mindset. Changing your mindset isn't useless. And shadow work doesn't have to come first, like some rule you have to follow before you're allowed to think differently. Here's what actually happens. Being willing to change is what opens a door in your mind. But once that door opens, something is usually standing right behind it. Your shadow. The parts of yourself you buried because they felt too painful to look at. So if you just repeat an affirmation, but you're not actually willing to look underneath it, you're standing at a locked door, knocking. Nothing opens. But the moment you're really willing to change, not just saying you are, something shifts. And what comes through the door isn't a better mindset. Not yet. It's the shadow. The stuff that was blocking your mindset from changing in the first place. That has to be dealt with first. So if willingness is the key, and your shadow is what's waiting behind the door, why do so many self-help teachers skip straight to just change your thoughts? Let's talk about why that advice keeps failing people, even people who are trying really hard. Why just change your mindset sets you up to fail. Picture two people. One does affirmations every morning, never looks any deeper than that, wonders for years why nothing sticks. The other becomes willing to sit with something uncomfortable, willing to ask, why do I actually believe this? Willing to stop pretending to be fine. That second person's mindset doesn't change overnight either. But something else happens first. A door opens. Old memories come up. Patterns they didn't even know they had start to show up. That's not a detour. That's the actual process. The real control panel. The teachers who say just change your mindset aren't lying to you on purpose. Most of them are teaching what they were taught, which treats your conscious mind like the control panel. But the psychologist Carl Jung believed something different. And it's what I found to be true in my own life. Willingness is the real control panel. It's the thing that decides whether your mind opens up or stays locked. You can't force a mindset change from the outside. It only becomes possible once you're willing to let what's inside come forward. So what's actually waiting behind that door once it opens? It's not what you'd expect. And once I show you, you'll never think about your dark side the same way again. Once that door opens, once you're really willing, not just pretending, most people expect clarity, a light bulb moment, a breakthrough. What actually shows up first is way less comfortable. It's usually things like the ambition you buried because your family called you too much, the anger you never let yourself feel because you were taught good people don't get angry, the softness you hid because one time it got you hurt. Jung called this the unlived life. Everything you pushed down, not because it was wrong, but because it wasn't safe to show at the time. Here's the connection to mindset. Every one of those buried parts turned into a belief. My ambition is too much turns into I should stay small. Those beliefs are exactly what was standing behind your locked door. That's why repeating a positive affirmation over the top of them never worked. You weren't fighting a bad habit. You were trying to talk over something that needed to actually be faced, not argued with. So once you're standing face to face with what was behind that door, what do you actually do with it? This is the part I wish someone had told me straight up instead of leaving me to figure it out over years of trial and error. Quick pause before we keep going. This is hitting home for you. I go a lot deeper into this in Shadow Work Workbook 1, Awakening to Your Shadow. It's the same framework from my Shadow Work series, broken into guided prompts. So you're not just understanding this, you're actually doing it. Link is in the description. Okay, let's get into what to actually do once that door is open. Step 1. Stay willing. Don't slam the door shut. The second your shadow starts to show up, old shame, old anger, memories you'd rather not think about, your instinct is going to be to shut the door and run back to the affirmations because they felt safer. This is the exact moment most people quit shadow work without even realizing that's what they're doing. Staying willing doesn't mean staring at everything all at once. Just means not running back and locking the door again. Step 2. Name it exactly as it is. Don't clean it up. Whatever comes up, say it plainly. Not "I'm working on my confidence." Try "I believe if people really saw me, they'd leave." Jung had a method for this called active imagination. Basically, having an honest conversation with the part of you holding that belief. Ask it, "When did you start protecting me? What were you scared would happen if you didn't?" The answer almost always makes total sense once you hear it. Step 3. Let this shift happen on its own. Don't force it. I want to be really direct here. The mindset change isn't something you force at this stage. It's a byproduct. Once you actually face and understand the belief instead of hiding from it, your mindset shifts by itself because it's no longer being propped up by something you're avoiding. Jung called this individuation. Not becoming fearless, but becoming whole enough that the old belief becomes information instead of an instruction you have to follow. I want to be honest about something most self-help content leaves out. This part does not feel peaceful while it's happening. Here's what to actually expect, so you don't mistake it for going backwards. If you stay willing, start naming what's behind the door, and suddenly feel more anxious, more emotional, more shaky than before you started, that's not a sign you're doing it wrong. That's a sign the door actually opened. Jung had a word for this too, in anchodromia. Basically, things swing toward their opposite before they settle down. Your body doesn't know yet that it's safe to feel what it's feeling, so it overreacts for a bit. This is happening for you, not to you. This is also exactly why the quick fix content, the 21-day challenge, the rewire your brain in a week videos leave so many people feeling like failures. They're asking you to force a mindset shift before the door has even opened, let alone before what's behind it has been dealt with. The psychologist Viktor Frankl said something similar. Meaning isn't found by avoiding hard things. It's found by going through them on purpose. And on the other side isn't a mindset you have to maintain through effort. It's one that just holds, because there's nothing left underneath fighting it. So what does it actually feel like once it holds? Let me tell you what changed for me. Here's what I noticed once I stopped trying to force my mindset to change and instead just stayed willing long enough to let what was behind the door come forward. I stopped needing the affirmation. Not because I buried the fear again, but because I wasn't at war with the part of me that created it anymore. My mindset stopped being something I had to work at every day. It just became the natural result of what I'd actually dealt with. If you've been doing the affirmations, the visualizations, the positive thinking, and none of it has held, I want you to hear this. You didn't fail. You were just missing the one piece almost nobody talks about. Willingness opens the door. Your shadow is what's waiting behind it. And the mindset you're actually looking for isn't something you force through the door. It's what's left once you're finally willing to walk through it yourself. If you want the exact framework I used, the Shadow Work series is linked in the description and pinned in the comments. I'll see you in the next one.